Okay, we're back in session. Right. Up and running here, I don't think. Yeah. Okay, Board of Supervisors back in session after a short break. And awaiting the CEO, let's go to the legislative report. Mr. Kaler.
Hi, my name is Paul Kaler. I'm the Deputy Chief Executive Officer. I'm happy to give you a legislative update after several weeks. I'm going to try to go through this, and I've been given clearly the message that we need to hop along through this, so I'll do my best just to hit the highlights of what's happened since the last time I talked to you about legislative matters. Under federal appropriations, we do have our preliminary list of earmarks from Washington, D.C. In the Senate, we're looking at $250,000 earmarked for the Coyote Valley Reservoir, $750,000 earmarked for Noyo Harbor, and in the House, $400,000 earmarked for our public safety microwave program. We always really want to shoot for transportation projects, and I think Tom might have something to say about that on transportation projects later, but the truth is that in California, not very many transportation projects got funded, period. So I know I'm disappointed on it, but nobody did very well in terms of transportation projects. In terms of secure rural schools, we're continuing to track and monitor that one very closely, but our senators, Feinstein and Boxer, are big supporters of secure rural schools. We're getting that report from numerous channels back from Sacramento. We've written a lot of letters on secure rural schools. It's my observation that really our representatives are in there doing their best that they can for us. So there's not much more in addition that we can do. We continue to track it and respond when we can, but we're getting very good representation on that. In terms of state issues, the watch list is being updated weekly, and we are really looking right now for bills that are being enrolled with the governor so that letters can be produced either asking for signature or asking for veto. And those are starting to come through right now on a regular basis. The other issue, the Special Distribution Fund. We were hopeful that we were going to see something happen on the Special Distribution Fund, either from a bill sponsored by Garcia or Torrico. But neither of these bills are going to be moved forward by their authors due to what were viewed as hostile amendments. So the word on the street now is that this issue might be resolved by some quote-unquote Valley legislators through the budget process. But right now there is no active bill to resolve the Special Distribution Fund. In terms of budget, and I don't know how much Tom spoke about this either lately, we've been very concerned and working a lot of time on a potential rating of Prop 42, Prop 1A, and Prop 63 being considered as a part of the budget. Don Peterson is informing us that all these propositions are, quote, definitely in play, end quote. We understand that Republicans are saying that they're willing to vote for the governor's lottery proposal if Prop 1A and 42 are backup proposals. We did get a statement from our Senator Wiggins today, and I won't read the whole statement, but the statement essentially came out that I don't like the idea of suspending Prop 42, nor do the vast majority of my colleagues. In fact, Democrats are not advocating that we take money from Prop 42. Not only would it be a negative impact on cities and counties, it only offers us a temporary fix at the state level. I want to report on a bill, SB 1064. It doesn't happen very often, but sometimes because of extended breaks between supervisors meetings, the executive office has to take action on bills. SB 1064 Hollingsworth, which would authorize local governments impacted by wildfires to seek reimbursement for property taxes. The bill was amended to include Mendocino County. We sent in a letter of support, and at your next board meeting, official board action will be on the consent calendar. And I don't want to sidetrack my presentation, but the last thing I have is that the spay and neuter bill is back in a different form. It essentially was gutted and amended back in June. Supervisor Delbar brought it to my attention yesterday.
That the one that spay and neuters all state senators?
I knew he was going to put that.
No, but it includes cats this time. So it's this bill covers dogs and cats. It's my read of the legislative platform that this doesn't have to be brought back to the board. We specifically put this issue right into the platform so we can move to oppose. If anybody is, it is nuanced from the last proposal. It does now include cats. So if any supervisors would like specifics, otherwise, I'll be recommending just under the legislative platform that we'll be moving to an opposed position. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Kaler. Any questions on legislative Supervisor Delbar?
In terms of the state distribution fund, it's unfortunate that is being a political football in the whole game in Sacramento, because the tribes pay into that fund specifically to offset and mitigate the impacts in those communities in which those casinos reside. And to use that as the game playing that's going on it's really a shame. And it has been truly game playing. It's amazing to watch the ridiculous politics going on around that. So hopefully that'll get resolved in the final budget process.
I agree.
In terms of Props 42 and 1A, I signed a letter along with the other officers of CSAC to the governor the other day, and opposing the rating or the suspending of those two propositions. As you stated, Mr. Kaler, the overall feeling is if anything, it's a short-term fix that's going to cause bigger problems down the road for the state, and it's a big problems today and down the road for us and local government. So I know that our legislators have said, both our senator and assemblywoman have said that they don't support suspending those two propositions. I'd like to see us send a letter to them, thanking them for that, and then see